Greetings, gamers! Welcome to part number 45 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 9 Path of Radiance. In today's episode, I am going to be encroaching upon Petrine's good old zone here and gathering for myself a wonderful and amazing victory in this Riven Bridge. First and foremost, I do have to take out this guy because he is going to be a pain for Volk, as he can attack Volk. As can be clearly noted, Shade is not going to protect him even when he's around somebody who has good old Provoke, which I hate. I actually hate that that skill is not as reliable as I would like it to be. Oh, come on. Of course I did that. Are you kidding me? Oh well, Stefan, I guess you're going to be sitting this this part of this chapter out, which unfortunately kind of means he's going to be sitting out the rest of this chapter because, yeah. I think I'm going to put you here. No, I am not going to do that, actually. I'm going to put you here. Perfect. He got an Adept and a crit. He didn't need the crit, but you know what? I appreciate it nonetheless. Ooh. Ooh. I forgot there was one there, unfortunately. What that does, unfortunately, mean is that I'm going to have to restore Geronio if I want him to move this turn again with my good old racing. Oh man, that was such a misplay. Would be nice if you got a crit, Titania. Get this guy out of the way. And she did. Nice. She can go right there. I don't want her to necessarily block the path. Chant. Ah, man, I'm so not looking forward to this next enemy phase because there is a very high and strong potentiality that good old Jill might actually die here. She only has 11. Okay, 27. He's not attacking her twice. He's doing 16, whereas this guy is doing 22, minus 11, 11. Ah. If both of them hit her, she dies. Not good, to say the least. It's almost one of those situations where you have to say, what can you do? Because I put her in that kind of scenario. But I'm just really hoping and praying that she doesn't cease to exist in this unfortunate of turns that's about to come up. If she does, I'm going to have to redo part of this chapter, well, a big part of this chapter, and I'm not looking forward to that. Granted, having an untrained Jill is, you know, it's basically what I signed up for, because I'm not going to train her when I just have no purpose to. Alright, might as well take out one of you. I will be using that Hammer'n staff on this good old Sonic Sword very soon here. Stefan is healed up. The rest of my units are getting ready to deal with the wonderful enemies that are left over. Yeah, so one thing that you did not see is this stone hoist. So these things just are interesting. They do damage mostly to the unit it hits, but also to the adjacent 4 around the unit that it hits. And it's very minuscule damage, but it never can do no damage if I'm not mistaken. And I didn't even have to worry necessarily about Jill's perishing because Rayson perished. Looks like I'm going to have to redo this chapter anyway. Luckily, I don't do the redos on screen, so that's going to save you some time. And I am back with the wonderful Path of Radiance, episode 45. after having much difficulty going through this, and I was going too fast. That's the issue, is that if you go too fast and you don't have enough units left behind to deal with all of Har's units, you're going to have an issue with Har's units KOing Jill because she's not trained. Now, I haven't recruited him yet. I'm going to be doing the recruitment this player phase. Nice healing for Ike and Mist as we got hit by a good old stone hoist, which is always not as good as it sounds. Alright, so let's get all the way over here. Yes, so the recruitment is going to happen thus. She's going to sit here. Har and Devdan almost killed each other, which was both funny and very unfortunate at the same time. So, what I'm planning on doing here, I think only one of these guys has range. That's absolutely the case. Yep, good. I had a little bit of a better strategy for this lined up than I did at the first because, oh my gosh, my strategy was not all that good. And Har over here is almost dead. He got crit by Devdan. And Har was doing 19 damage times 2 with his Brave Axe, but only hit him once. Thankfully. Very, very, very thankfully. And that's all she wrote. It was quite the dangerous situation, and it almost was a reset yet again. I almost had to play this chapter, what is this, going on like 3 or 4 times now? Which sounds like user error, and I'll grant that it is. I'm not going to tell you that I have perfect, flawless, amazing strategies at every instance, especially on this game. This game I do spend a lot less time on than something like Thracia or Genealogy, just because those games are far and away better suited to someone like me. Nice level up. He can't possibly get maximum HP now. Good job, Ike. Always doing your best to be your worst. I didn't know exactly what to say there. All right. Tyronio. Gonna take you out. And I have some other plans for who I'm going to be taking out with my other units in such a way that will allow me to get everything I need going. I only stole the one physic. You know what? I could have stole the other physic. Why didn't I go back and steal that? Those things are precious commodities. I almost want to say it would be a far and away better idea if I went back and stole the other stuff. So, I'm probably going to do that, even though it sounds a little bit like a bit of a backtrack. If I miss out on the elixir, honestly, that's not that big a deal. Granted, I'm only on turn 6. So it's not like I have spent an awful lot of time on this chapter particularly. And let's KO this Legoos here with Stefan. Chant for all 4 of you. And I'm going to move thusly back. It's very unfortunate that this happened, but luckily it's not the biggest of deals. Alright, so let's equip a spear first and then the wishless. I'm pretty well done, as you can pretty well see. This chapter is done. It's finished. It's no longer that much of a threat. The reinforcements are pretty well over with. I think there's a few more that come around where Petrine is. In fact, I've already received one such of those sets of reinforcements, these Draco Knights here. Hopefully they go after Tyronio. That'd be cool. I'm not going to bet on it, but it would be cool. This guy could reach shit on this whole time, so I'm guessing he doesn't move. Killer bow. Why not? Perfect. And I just have Mist and Titania. So, they're going to come over here and help me stave off these flying nightmares. Let alone the fact that I do have green units now, which are also kind of doing that job. I hate the green units on this chapter. I understand the story behind them, but on the higher difficulties, especially, like difficult mode and maniac mode, you are getting hardly any experience points in this game. And being able to take out a bunch of Draco Knights and Wyvern Riders and stuff like that with your units provides some decent experience points. And it's a lot better used on your units rather than these no-name green units. Moram has been a little bit of an assistance in this chapter. You know, offensively, because I've had to deal with all of these units here. Yeah, most of the Crimean Knights over here have bows as well as lances, and it's very typical for Crimea. That's what a lot of their knights have, is bows and lances, which is cool to have their own kind of, not really archetype, but something of that similar vein. I appreciate it, especially because you see a lot more axes from the Daean Knights. It makes for a good dichotomy of, well, the Daeans won because they're using the better weapons. That's not obviously what's really going on, but it is fun to think that way. I don't know why I shoved him. There was absolutely no purpose to that. But I'm going to only be able to chant for you this turn, which is okay. Another physics stolen. I don't know why I was about to, miss that. That would have been very saddening, because physics are hard to come by. I think you can eventually buy them in this game, but they're extremely expensive, and it's very late game. Very late game, like even much further than right now. Oh my gosh, thank you for the good level ups. I could learn a thing or 50. So Devdan, you can take out this remaining nuisance here. I really need to get him some more weapons, better weapons. The fact that he has such low use weapons, even though they're good weapons, is kind of a shame. Okay. Equip and use. Har is obviously going to be my only flyer, so due to that, he can use the full guard as well as take full advantage of that fact. Nobody else needs it. I mean, shit, Rayson could use it, could need it, in fact, but it's really just, no skin off my bones kind of thing. And then, of course, Tyronio and Ike are going to deal with the boss. Titania could too. I'd think that that's actually a pretty darn good idea. Yeah, she's doing 11 times 2. And that will be my turn. While the green units deal with these reinforcements, it would be nice if the green units would be KO'd, but the fact of the matter is it's not likely, due to the fact that they do have bows, and they are pretty bulky paladins. It's not likely that all of them are just going to cease. A couple of them might, here and there. It's kind of amazing to see a knight miss with a bow. You would almost think that that's not something that would happen, because bows are pretty darn accurate, and paladins are supposed to be beastly knights, warriors on the battlefield. Missing with your bow, are you stupid? These guys don't seem all that trained to me. 6 damage to a wyvern lord. Or wyvern knight, sorry. Wyvern knight. Wyvern rider. I don't know, are they wyvern riders in this game or wyvern knights? It's actually kind of abysmal. I think they're supposed to do such... Yeah, wyvern riders. They're supposed to do such low damage, particularly for the fact that, you know, they're not there to steal your experience points, but that is large and by far what they basically do. Chant. And that's another level up for Rayson. Very nice. Level 18. He only has 2 levels to go. So you would halfway hope that he gets more than just, you know, the stats that he just got. But speed and luck is okay. Especially because what it does is it guarantees that he's going to have some pretty darn good avoid. Would have been nice if that avoid kicked in before and I didn't have to necessarily go through with the whole dealing with... Okay, I can heal him, actually. That's nice. The fact that he died and I had to redo this chapter, which is truly unfortunate, but it's also my fault, so I completely understand. And that will be my turn. Only, I believe next turn will be the end. I don't know that I necessarily want to get the KO with Petrine if I with Ike against Petrine, because if I do that, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to take another turn, which by all means, whatever. I'm not LTCing this game. I don't even care for the concept of LTC. It's cute, it's quaint, and it has its place. A lot of people love it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just not for me. I prefer to enjoy the games fully, as best as I can, whilst not necessarily turtling. I don't like going slow. So you couldn't call any of my runs speed runs or quick runs or anything like that. It's just that I like going through the chapters and doing all of my strategy and all I have to offer with the chapters and the game as best as I possibly can, as fast as I possibly can. Does it always work out that way? No. A perfect example of that is actually 12X in Thracia. You really want, in my case, you really want the warp staff that it gives and turn 25, I believe it is, or it might be a Master Seal, and then the other one of those two in turn 30. And that's a long time to wait, especially because you can basically have that chapter done before turn 10. It's a long time to wait. But sometimes it's worth it to have that so-called long wait. So, I can put you here. And I can chant for you. Oh yeah, I can't... Why do I keep forgetting about this? He needs more speed to be able to steal. That's a shame. Yeah. Magic weapons in this game are magic whether you're up close or far, which is cool in a way, but it also leaves less strategy for, you know, using them for different purposes.
Do you like your meat rare, or do you like it charbroiled? Let me know and I'll cook you up just as ordered.
Flame Lance versus Sonic Sword. Who is going to win this contest? Well, I can tell you it's not going to be Petrine. Wish list. How much damage is Titania doing? Okay, cool. So I can actually attack her with both Tyronio and Titania.
So the traitor appears. I'm going to cook you alive. I bet your armor will make a fine cauldron.
Nice. So you do get the Flame Lance for beating Petrine, but honestly, there is no one in my party who can even use that to any kind of success. Now, granted, Devdan kind of can. I mean, he's going to do 19 damage with it. Against certain very heavily defensive but non-resistive units, that would be great. But the elephant in the room is that it's not actually that great. I kind of wasted some turns here thinking that Volk could steal from her. I keep forgetting about this, which is fault of my own. I do totally grant that. I think the Regal Sword? Yeah, why not? Whip that out. You're the knight that my father battled.
You, if I'd known you were going to grow to be such a thorn in our side, I would have reduced you to ashes when I had the chance. Guess it's not too late, though. Die. Your Majesty, please forgive me. Oh, I don't want to die. So scared.
Yeah, good chunk of experience points for Ike. I was thinking about it, and I really think that Ike was the best candidate possible for that experience points, just because, I mean, there's not too many chapters from this point where he has to be, and I mean has to be, basically max level, or at least very close, and he has to have some pretty darn high stats. Like, for instance, he needs to have maximum strength and speed at the very least, and he's pretty well nowhere near that at this current moment, which kind of saddens me. Granted, if he does get to level 20 and I'm at that chapter and he doesn't have either of those maxes, I for sure will use whatever items I can to make sure that he has those maxes, granted, if I have them. Because the unit that I'm wanting to use all of my items, like energy drops and spirit dust and things like that, I'm going to be receiving in Chapter 26, whereas Ike needs to be his strongest at Chapter 27 and onward. So some planning is going to have to be taken into account there, and some good consideration as well. These guys have finished off the final little bit of the Wyvern Riders. Now they're going back to defeat the one and only unit that I left alive, the Elf Thunder Mage over here, which is hilarious to say the absolute least. I love seeing Tyronio's stats. This is beastly. Beastly. 21 speed right now, which is a fantastic benchmark. I cannot wait until he gets a few more points of speed. I would like him to get to 16 at minimum. Hopefully 18, because if he's at 16, he'll have 24. But if he's at 18, he's going to have 27 speed, which is insanity. Let's go ahead and heal. Get some experience points on my good old units. Now, I do happen to have some more physics, so I am perfectly well capable of using a physic or two for some experience points, though Mist is literally level 19, about to be level 20. I mean, she's getting that level 20 right now. So this is very moot, to say the least. And her final level up. Hopefully it'll be a good one. Fairly good, fairly good. The speed, though, you know, I mean, nowhere near her max, is fantastic. You always want as much speed as possible with an offensive unit. And though she's not offensive first and foremost, I did build her in such a way that she is more than capable of being an offensive unit. And it is time to seize and end this map.
Princess Alencia, welcome home. It's so good to see you safe. Lucia, is it really you? I am no spirit, see? Flesh and bone, through and through. Ah, Lucia, you have no idea how I've longed to see you. And I you, Princess Alencia. When my brother Geoffrey told me that you had been lost, my world went dark. When I learned you were still alive, I was so... Then Geoffrey is safe as well? Happy day! Are there others? How many Cryon retainers have survived? Well, there's Count Bastion. That silver-tongued rascal is as loquacious as ever. Never heard that word before. Also, General Teggio, Marcus Catol's orphan, Siluk, and Marcus Mitnala are all with us. The soldiers we have contacted so far do not even number 100. But if they know you've returned, retainers hiding throughout the land will surely come pouring in. Yet my existence is not known to the general populace. There's no need to worry about that. Tales of your exploits in Dayan have reached every corner of Crimea. In every village, in every town, the people are talking. Our fair king had a hidden child, they say. The secret princess of Crimea is fighting to save us all. In addition, Dayan soldiers have been frantically searching for a mysterious, elusive Princess Crimea. All they've succeeded in doing is convincing the people that you truly are their princess. All of Crimea has been anxiously awaiting your return. Oh, Lucia, do you speak truly? They have acknowledged my existence? I never expected this day.
So, there's actually a very important thing here in King Ashnard's plans. Now, he doesn't mention this per se directly, but it makes a lot of sense for them to keep frantically searching for a Princess Alencia openly, because then it gives a rallying point. Ashnard doesn't want victory, he wants war. He doesn't care if he wins or loses, he just wants the entire continent engulfed in war. News of your actions in Dayan reached the ears of King Gallia through Nazar. I then told Lucia, who passed it to the citizenry. You know, the thought that Nazar is a traitor just doesn't feel right to me. I can't believe it. You think I don't see that? Look at what we know about the medallion. We discovered it thanks to his hints. He's helped us throughout our entire journey. In that, at least, he was not false. Yet if he will not speak, there is nothing I can do to save him. Let's go see him. One way or another, I will loosen his tongue. This way. He's being kept in the supply tent. We wanted to keep him away from the other soldiers. Huh? What is it? He's gone. I wonder what could have happened. He escaped a tent? I mean, even if it was being well watched and guarded, it was a tent. It's not a prison, dude. I brought him breakfast this morning. He was here. Time to save. The Crimean army defeats General Petrine, one of King Ashnard's feared four riders, and finally arrives home. The princess's return is met with the jubilation and tears of the retainers who have managed to survive. As long as we have Princess Alencia, Crimea will be liberated. These are the words that gave the people hope as they endured the harsh rule of a conquering country. The silent masses, who long for the restoration of their homeland, slowly begin to give voice to their dream. Surely, they think, this chance to see Crimea freed will not be wasted. Surely. Chapter 24, Battle Reunion. Delbray Castle. That was quite a long pan. Can it be? There is no mistake in my words. The princess has returned to Crimea. Lady Lucia serves as guide. They should be on their way as we speak. How long it's been since we've seen the princess. We have been living for the day where we steal the eyes from Dayan's army and bring her home, and now it has come. Indeed, for his majesty, for the queen, and for the crown prince Renning as well. We must act as one and support our beloved Princess Alencia. Yes, if all goes well, our dearest wish will soon come to fulfillment. There's no time to wait. If we wish to properly greet the princess and her retinue, there is much to be done. Right. Let's let everyone know. We must divide the tasks and begin preparations for a feast at once. And flowers must be prepared for the princess's chamber. Oh, we mustn't forget music and entertainment as either. I suppose I shall have to polish the silver tableware I was hiding too. You? You possess such refined things? I figured a rustic boor like you would have sold them for a lamb shank. I received the silver from His Majesty when I was awarded my knighthood. I have been saving it for just such an occasion. Well done. Get ready. We are going to be very, very busy. Ha ha ha. What a fantastic day this will be. The Crimean retainers are waiting for us at this Castle Delbray?
Yes. In your absence, Princess, we use the cellars beneath the castle as a secret meeting place. It is from there that we contacted other retainers who were hiding throughout the land.
And no one was discovered?
We disguised ourselves as merchants or peasants, and Dayan looked right past us. Their arrogance is without equal. However, now that we've heard of your return, we are bringing out our hidden Crimean army and polishing away. Merchants? Ha! Jeffrey is one thing, but I cannot imagine Bastion as a shopkeeper. No one could. That's why he dressed as a street performer. Now that I can see. I'm sure it suited him perfectly. Did he juggle and gamble about? And Jeffrey, never have you seen a merchant with such perfect posture. That sounds just like him. Princess Alencia seems to be having a wonderful time. She's been smiling and laughing for hours.
And it is time to smile and laugh this episode away, as I have done my fair share of this episode. Oh my goodness, Riven Bridge, you tore me to pieces. That was the only chapter I think I've played in this entire Let's Play where I've had to play it multiple times. More than once. You know, there's been a couple of times where I've had to play a chapter a second time because of a foolhardy mistake of placing a unit where I should not have. I'm sorry to tell you, all my viewers, but if you're watching other Fire Emblem content and they seem to have perfect strategies, it comes with a lot of trial and error. And unfortunately, I don't believe in necessarily removing that trial and error from my episodes. Granted, because I don't want this Let's Play to be 455 episodes long, I do remove the replaying of the episodes, the replaying of the chapters if I have to replay them, because that's very redundant. You've already seen it done. You don't need to see it done again. I mean, I'm already at episode 45. It is incredible. This is, a couple episodes off of being as long as my previous Let's Play of Path of Radiance. And being honest, that's kind of crazy. And I think the reason why it's this long, especially with the fact that I have reduced a lot of things, is because, granted, a lot of the episodes in my previous Path of Radiance Let's Play are an hour long or more. I decided that was a bit ridiculous. I think half-hour episodes around that time period is a good metric to reach. So this is going to be a longer Let's Play, but I have cut some things out that I was doing previously, like, for instance, the supply management on screen, so on and so forth. I was doing all of that, though I did add something. Talking about the units has been fun. Showing off exactly why I like some of them and whom I prefer is a pretty fun metric also. But with all that being said, I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.